If I wanted more money, I'd be making mukbangs, honey.
You are a disrespectful piece of...
Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I figured we're gonna do something a little bit of fun, take a little breather, take off our wrong shoes, and dive deep into this masterpiece called Hello, Darling that Amberlynn wrote as a teenager, allegedly, even though she posted it online in her 20s. So without further ado, let's go. How do you always talk me into doing crazy things? I asked my best friend Memphis, a total blonde bombshell walking 5'11" on petite feet. How is this crazy? We are literally going on an only girls cruise for a month. There will be naked pool parties, alcohol, random hookups, and a ton of lesbians. Memphis giggled and added, "Okay, you're right, Juniper. This is a bit crazy, but this is going to be a blast." You had me at only girls, I laughed. We are both lesbians, but the complete opposite of one another. Memphis is the long-haired blonde with brown eyes, while I'm standing with short dark hair and blue eyes. Wow, so different. Memphis loved shopping and fake pink nails, while I liked leather jackets and skinny jeans. This is any lesbian's paradise, I added. We both happily arrive at Hello, Darling. Hello, Darling is a cruise that was just set out for only females. Okay, as if I didn't just fucking read that 3 times by now. It was like no other kind of cruise ship before because nothing was off limits, with very little rules, and the ship would never stop for a full month. Besides, when gas was needed, and even then, no one was allowed off the ship. It was a seclusion I was going to love. The ship was huge. That's what she said. Almost resembling the size of the Titanic, but Hello, Darling was white and a pretty pink cursive writing was the ship's name on the side of... What the fuck is that sentence? Everywhere I looked, there were girls. Dark girls, light girls, short, tall, fat, skinny, butch, and femme. But they all looked excited, and we were all here for the same reason. Fun, relaxation, and hopefully hookups. Reasons? Because you listed several. 2,000 passengers, and each one had a vagina, and the thought excited me. Hurry up, Memphis. I looked back, and she was tugging 3 suitcases. We were supposed to leave our suitcases at the shuttle bus, but she insisted that she didn't want to have her suitcases touched by anyone else. Sometimes she was super uptight, but it was something I was used to. This is your fault you are struggling, I said half-jokingly. I went back and started pulling 2 of her suitcases, which helped dramatically. Holy shit, hero Lynn. Tickets in tow, we went on the cruise's pathway. I took a deep breath and smiled. This was going to be a month full of ladies. Ugh, Mom, seriously, calm down. It's not that big of a deal. Choosing to go on a month cruise with my mom was probably one of the worst things I have ever agreed to. I wanted to share a room with you, and that is what I requested, and most definitely not what I got. I can't be alone, Indy. You know this. It looked like she was about to cry. Mom, sit down. Calm down. As if that ever calmed down anybody before. I went up to her and put my arms around her as she sat down and put her head in her hands. It'll be okay. We have a full month of spending quality time together. We'll have a lot of fun, and we don't have to think about him. My voice trailed off because I had regretted even bringing it up, because right then she started crying. I didn't do anything to him. I treated him right. Why would he cheat on me? Your father should have never died. Jesus Christ. She was hysterical now, bringing up my father yet again, which she always did. He died 4 years ago in a motorcycle accident. Ironically, it was the day I told him I was a lesbian. While my mother accepted it, he didn't. His last words to me were, "I wish you weren't my daughter." And the next time I saw him, he was laying in a casket and he didn't even look like himself. Our relationship was the perfect father and daughter relationship, but he was intensely homophobic. I hold a lot of regret. Nothing will ever be the same for my mother and me. And I? Okay. This has nothing to do with Dad. You know Jake was a disgusting human being, and he was crazy to cheat on you. Let's forget about this. This is a time for you to smile and be happy, Mom. Let's unpack our stuff and go head down for brunch. They're gonna have salmon toast, your favorite. I love how she's trying to fix the situation with food. Okay. I was always the one trying to pick my mom up when she was sad. I never cried. Not even when I got that phone call that my dad was dead. Not even when my dad practically told me he hated me. And here I am, comforting my mom, when my insides just want to explode. But I did what I always did best. Put on a happy smile and moved on with my day. That is called parentification, and that's really fucking unhealthy. Juniper. Memphis and I had 2 separate rooms because the brochure clearly stated that only handicapped passengers could be sharing rooms with somebody, and from the looks of it, I have not seen anyone who seemed like they needed help with anything. Oh, of course, because all disability is visible. Okay. Our rooms were right next to each other, since Memphis has bought our tickets back to back. The ship was huge, and I questioned whether I would even be able to explore the whole thing in a month time span. What a terrible sentence. We unpacked our suitcases and headed down to eat because we were both starving. Oh my gosh, strawberries! Memphis squealed. How fucking dainty. While we were standing in line at the brunch buffet that was being held every single morning. I questioned why they called it a brunch if it was so early, till I turned the corner and saw that they were also serving lunch items as well. Everything on Hello Darling was technically free and paid for in the ticket. Food, alcohol, the clubs, parties, activities, etc. Everything already paid for, so it was pretty much free for all 24/7. Hello Darling was supposed to be taking off at 9 a.m. They opened it up at 6 a.m. and were allowing passengers to situate themselves for 3 hours till takeoff. Gathering our food, I notice a girl who is overly attractive, spooning grits onto her plate. So I do what I do best, put on my charm. Come here often? I asked her with my sweet charisma, knowing for sure she was gay. She giggled, which I knew she would, and responded with, "No, but my boyfriend back home wishes he did." Huh? That makes no sense whatsoever. And then she walked away. Okay, that was a shot to the heart because normally I can get any girl I want. And my gaydar is normally on point, but I'm not a cocky person. Girls just cannot resist me. How the hell can you say that in 2 separate sentences? You're not cocky, but people can't resist you, and your sweet charisma? Oh, come on. The food here is heavenly, Memphis said as we both sat down. She got a bunch of fruit and some oatmeal. That is so fucking regular. How can it be heavenly? It's so plain. But I mean, fruit, why not? Not much of a meal, but whatever. I sat down with my hash browns, eggs, I hope you're not allergic to eggs, a bagel, sausage, and some pasta they had with cheese. You eat like you're trying to lose weight. I never understood you, I replied back to her as I dived into my food. I need to watch my figure. Eating food like what you have on your plate will only cause to die sooner, and you know that. We are missing a word in that sentence, that's for sure. She picked at her fruit. I rolled my eyes. Whatever. The food tastes better than the crap, and you only live once, I said, pointing to her plate. Memphis has always been weird with her eating, ever since I knew her. We have been. No, she says we had been best friends since we were in 3rd grade. And now here we are in our early 20s and still standing strong with a great friendship. I'm just excited for today. What is on the agenda? I asked between the bites. Memphis took out a booklet which had everything we needed to know in it. FAQ about Hello Darling, the map of the ship, the few rules they had in place. What rules? I want to know what rules they had in place because I need to know. Safety instructions, food, drink menus, and the agenda for the next month written out in detail and times. Okay, June 1st. Let's see. She trailed off in focus as I looked around the room. Girls everywhere. Chatty, but attractive. Okay, being chatty makes you almost unattractive? Go off, queen. I had not seen a single girl yet that I would not love to make go wild. Lord, she is writing. Okay, she's making my brain fart. Okay, what the fuck, dude, I can't. Okay. I had not seen a single girl yet that I would not love to make go wild. I don't fall in love. I fall in lust. I just love sex. I'm a sexual person who enjoys making Other girls feel good. Oh, here we go. Memphis brought me back to reality. Ship takes off at 9 a.m. so we can go to the deck and watch that. Then at 11 a.m. there's some sort of game in building C to get to know fellow passengers. Sounds fun. Maybe we can meet some friends. Her eyes lit up. Or some ladies with potential hookups. We both laughed. This is really exciting, Indy. My mom smiled, putting her hand on my back as we stood on her Hello Darling's balcony of many waiting for the ship to take off. I swear I'm not slow. I'm a very good reader, but the way she builds her sentences is just throwing me for a loop. I wouldn't have wanted anyone else to come with me. We both knew I was the only one she had, but I just smiled back at her, knowing that even if she did the other people in her life, I would still probably be number one. A run on sentences for days. My professor would have murdered me for that. Okay, hello darling ladies. Who's ready for a month full of fun? The intercom announced. I sat and wondered how we were able to even hear it over all the females and the constant chatter mixed with the openness of the boat and ocean. Everyone cheered, including Mom, which made me smile even bigger. As we all know, we'll be stuck with each other for a full month, so better make some friends and enjoy the time. We have a lot of things planned for everyone, and the most important rule is to have fun. More cheers, let's do this. The ship's horn was insanely loud, and before we knew it, we were all waving to the friends, family members, loved ones, and strangers of all the passengers on Hello Darling as the ship moved from the dock slowly at first. Run on sentences, bro, stop. The sound of the ship and the lap of the water was peaceful. I looked over at my mom, and she had a tear run down her cheek, but I could tell she was happy. There was a difference in her now than her tears she shed earlier. This is painful, and English is not even my first language. I should not be in this much pain. This is not fair. She looked hopeful now. Her golden hair was flowing in the wind, and she looked better than she had in months, as the sun hit her cheeks. I looked around and saw nothing but estrogen. It didn't bother me since I was a lesbian after all. Wait a minute. She's a lesbian? What's going on? Is everybody a lesbian on this ship? I feel like I've not been told that before about 15 fucking times, but whatever. I hadn't been interested in anyone since Rose, who had left me 7 months ago, because she realized she actually wasn't into girls at all. We were together for almost 4 years. She is the reason I came out to my parents, and look where that got me. It had been with a few girls before, but something was different. But her and... what the fuck? I had been with a few girls before her, but something was different about her, and she was the only girl that I would have done absolutely anything for. She broke me. Are we still going to that get to know the passengers you live with thing today later at 11 a.m.? Mom asked after we both enjoyed the ship being set off to sail. Being on the water felt so soothing for me. I know I was not going to be one of the many who probably got seasick. How fucking special. Yes, if that's what you want to do. This is your vacation, so we'll do what you want to do. I smiled at her. I really did not mind that we did, but getting to know the other passengers really did sound fun to me. I'm not a shy girl. Free-spirited is what most of my friends call me. I know this was time for me and my mom to spend some time together, but I think it would be good for her if she met some friends on here her age, and I wanted that for myself as well. Definitely. She looked out into the water, smiling. The water really was an absolute stunning sight. The sun reflected on it in such a magical way that made me never want to look away. Arriving at Building C after trying to find it for what seemed like forever, I looked around and saw that many of the females on the cruise decided not to attend this Let's All Become a Unity game, where all we were supposed to get to know each other. I don't really know what the game entailed, but I wanted to join. More ladies I got to meet, the happier I was. Let's sit over here. Memphis pulled my arm towards the back corner of the room and sat on this white chair that looked and felt like it was probably $1,000. The room was big. Looked like about 500 passengers could fit in there happily, but there was only about 100 of us or less. Easy. There was a huge chandelier dangling from the ceiling that gently sparkled against the walls. I wonder why not many people decided to come here. Well, because that sounds lame as fuck, I don't know. Not many people want to talk in front of a huge crowd, I guess. I'm surprised you wanted to come, I said to her, knowing Memphis could sometimes be a bit shy. We are going to be here for a month, so I just figured, why not? She said, and her eyes trailed off and added, look at that girl. She has enough ass for you and I both. Memphis loved girls with a little bit of meat on them. She giggled a bit, and I saw something in her eyes that made me realize she wanted to lay that girl down in bed. What the fuck? Lord. Get you some. Go talk to her, I said to her, trying to urge her to have fun, even though I highly doubted she actually needed me to urge her. She probably isn't even gay. You know I have a horrible gaydar. What she said was true. She always was attracted to the straight girls. But who cares? She shrugged her shoulders and stood up and went to talk to the girl. I sat back when all of a sudden a voice from behind me asked, is this seat taken? I turned around and saw a beautiful, curly, red-haired girl looking down at me with her eyes that could pierce your soul and break a million hearts, but I was digging it. She was pointing to the chair left of me. Yes, by you, I replied. Smooth as hell, I laughed to myself. Her cheeks got a bit red and she replied, well, thanks. She walked around, tall in structure like Memphis, but more edgy rather than girly. She sat next to me and I could smell lavender. So what a beautiful girl doing like you alone right now. What a fucking pickup line. Ugh, I need a vacation to myself, so I figured coming to Hello Darling will help me escape the mess of, she trailed off a bit, just stuff. I want to meet new friends, have fun, relax, and just enjoy myself. Isn't that why we're all here? I suppose so. I smile at her, give her a once-over, and imagine her in bed with me. I'm Juniper. And you are? I held out my hand to take hers and kiss it. Again, smooth as hell. I'm Rose. I'll see you in a bit. I just want to rest a little. I'm sorry, Indy. Mom kissed my forehead as she lay down on her bed. She has not been getting much sleep lately, so instead of going to the meeting where we get to know people, she just wanted to rest. So I decided that I wouldn't go either because it wasn't really in a mood. Plus, it wasn't really my thing. I like to get to know people on my own time and not really suffocate myself with the thought of forcing conversation. I planned on ordering a pina colada and sitting on the balcony listening to the water and catching some rays, which sounded a lot better to me than forced conversation. I left Mom and went right next door to my room and put on my black bikini that would cause me to have weird tan lines since it was a web netted in the front, showing a bit more boob than the average bathing suit, but I liked it and I was never afraid of showing too much skin. Slipping that on, putting on some more deep red lipstick, taking my long dark hair out of its bun, it came down to silky curls. I put on my sunglasses and then headed out, almost running into some girl who had no idea where she was going. I apologized and went down to the long hallway and turned left. Hello Darling was a beautiful ship. Everything looked elegant but modern. Finding my way outside, it felt amazing out. Arriving at the bar, I'll take a pina colada, please. I smiled for the sake of common courtesy. Less than a minute later, I was into with a delicious alcoholic drink, laying out on a long chair and thoroughly enjoying the alone time. Girls were everywhere, chatting amongst everybody, but somehow it wasn't too much for me to take away my relaxation. As bad as it sounds, I just needed a breather from my mom. Since the breakup, she has been glued to me, and I have not been able to breathe even once away from her. I cared about her dearly, and that's why I was on this cruise, but also selfishly, I wanted to surround myself with beautiful ladies. You're saying your mom's not beautiful? What the fuck? I must have fallen asleep lightly from the heat of the sun because before I knew it, a beach ball hit me in the head. I jerked awake with that sudden fear of not knowing what in the world has just happened. Oh my gosh, are you okay? I'm so sorry. A short blonde girl comes up, grabbing the ball. I was playing with my friends over there. She pointed to a group of friends who all resembled her preppy appearance. Oh, don't worry about it. I sat up a bit, straightened up my posture. I must have fallen asleep. I'm just glad it was a beach ball and not something more hard. We both laughed. The girl's laugh was pretty high-pitched, and it made me wince a bit. I'm Lilac, by the way. She twirled the beach ball and then threw it back at her friends, who started hooting. and hollering at her. "Hi, I'm Indy. Your friends seem to be having a good time," I pointed out, standing up, realizing I was about 3 inches taller than she was. "Yeah, they think every girl I talk to is because I want to get in their pants." Lilac's face got a bit red. "Don't mind them. Plus, you aren't even wearing pants." I looked down on my bikini bottoms and felt myself blush a bit. "Oh, no worries. I have friends like that too." I really didn't think, but it just seemed appropriate to say so she didn't feel too bad about her friends. "Well, hey, there's a club here every night that starts at 9 p.m. and goes until anyone is still even standing." She giggled a bit. "You should come. I think it would be fun. We could drink and dance the night away." I love the club scene. I love dancing and drinking, so without hesitation I agreed. "Yeah, sure. I'll see you there." Lilac smiled and sauntered back to her friends. She was super cute, and her freckles were a huge turn-on. I watched her walk away and felt excited for the night, but then I thought of my mom. I shouldn't have agreed to going to some club when my mom probably needed me. I was gonna have to not show up at the club, and I knew I was going to feel horrible standing up Lilac like that. But this trip is about my mom and not me. After sitting here for almost an hour, I couldn't 100% focus on this get to know your fellow passengers game because Rose's leg gently touched mine ever so often, which made me feel warm and tingly. Then kissing her was seriously all I could think about, or wondering how soft her skin would feel underneath mine. It was now the back row's turn to go in front and the crowd and follow the instructions of the instructions of the game. When the game first started, the host passed around a big white container full of marbles, and we had to pick as many marbles as we wanted without knowing the reason for the picking. You could pick anywhere from 1 to whatever number suited you. I chose 3. Rose chose 2. And Memphis chose 7. Memphis had come back. Has come back? Have come, okay, whatever. From taking that girl who she thought was attractive. Turns out she was a lesbian, single, and her name was Tanner. "I am meeting her at the club tonight," Memphis gleefully announced after choosing her 7 marbles and passing the container to me. Now, it has been about an hour since then, and it was our turn to go up and reveal ourselves. After the marbles were chosen, turns out each marble that we chose was how many facts we had to say about ourselves in front of everyone else. "Okay, and you 5 are?" the host Nancy asked all 5 at the back row stand in front of the crowd. I never really cared for the attention, but I felt a bit flustered from Rose standing so close to me. We all answered. "Memphis, I'm Juniper. Rose, Noel, yes, like Christmas." Everyone laughed. I was not sure what was funny, but I laughed too anyway. "And I'm Jordan." Noel and Jordan were obvious twins. They both looked barely 18, brown curly hair to their shoulders, and they both wore matching outfits but in different colors. I hated when twins did that. Jeez, let people live their lives. They sat next to Rose last minute. They had not really talked to us at all, but both of them chose 2 marbles. "Okay, now each of you, let's get to know you. Now remember the rules. Your facts cannot be your name, age, birthday, or anything super common. Tell us something you wouldn't know just by looking at you." Nancy smiled, a middle-aged woman who already had more gray hair than she needed to have, and wrinkles to show she had a sad life but tried her hardest not to show it. She gestured for us to start, and then there was an awkward moment of us looking around at each other, seeing who'd go first. Noel kicked off into high gear. 2 marbles for my first fact is that I lost my virginity when I was 13 to some dude with 1 arm, who I in fact thought I was going to marry one day. Fact 2 is after this trip, I am becoming a nun. Was she joking? Jordan gently shook her head, and she made no reaction. That made it to look like her sister was joking, and then she began hers. 2 marbles as well. I work as a bartender in Hollywood, and I make about $400 a night just in tips alone. I live alone with my poodle named Delphine. Even though these 2 girls were twins and liked to dress the same, you could tell they were polar opposites from one another. Memphis went next. She had 7 facts, and I seriously could not wait to hear what she had to say, even though I knew everything about her anyway. I have 7 marbles, so bear with me. Okay, so this is my bestest friend in the whole entire world. She pulled me close to her, gave me a side hug, and smiled. Let's see. She had all the time in the world to think of her facts, but she was making googly eyes with Tanner the whole time they were waiting their turn. I used to play volleyball in high school. I have never been in love before. That's a lie. She was in a relationship before, and I swore she was in love, but she was the kind of girl who never wanted to admit things like that. That is where we are similar. I am allergic to nuts of all kinds. Several girls laughed out loud because the way Memphis said it, that indicated a sexual innuendo. I met Britney Spears when I was 14, and honestly, it was the most awkward experience of my life because I wanted a photo with her, but she acted like she wanted to be anywhere but there. Okay, how many is that now? She asked the crowd and laughed. 5, a few girls called out. Oh boy, One of the things on my bucket list is to go to Bora Bora. And last but not least, I am a pillow princess. Holy shit, does that sound like somebody you know or not? I let out a huge laugh, and then Memphis winked at Tanner. A few girls let out a laugh as well. A pillow princess is a lesbian who prefers to be on the bottom, on the receiving end, and that was definitely Memphis, but I was the opposite. Who cares? Okay. Wow. Okay, Memphis, that was enlightening. Nancy seemed to be bothered, but I didn't want to show it. I decided to go next because Rose didn't seem like going yet. I have 3, so let's cut to the point. I am left-handed, although I do use my right hand for certain things. 2, I was born with a heart murmur. 3, I love the ladies. Wow, is that not obvious? I grinned and made sure Rose saw. I was not sure if Rose liked girls or not, but I definitely wanted her to know. Rose smiled and began her facts. I'm also a lady lover, and I break hearts, she grinned back, although it seemed like she was just joking, but I was not entirely sure. She was a girl like me, someone who played hard to get, but also a girl who was a tease and a willing to show it. That was seriously so much fun, Indy. Denise wanted to hang out tomorrow around breakfast. I'll probably do that if that's okay. Mama and I were walking back from the swimming pool. It was huge with a waterfall and slides. There were also a jacuzzi big enough to fit 100 people comfortably. What the fuck? It was a 24/7 open pool with free food and alcohol. We had both drank a bit, played a little bit of swimming pool volleyball, and met some friends. Mom met a group of ladies her age, Denise being one of them. She was a jolly, overweight lady with rosy cheeks who my mom got attached to quickly once they found out they were both cheated on. Of course, Mom, I'll figure something out. You go have fun. Denise was super awesome. Hello, Darling was filled with amazing activities and places just to sit and stare, relax while the wind sang around your face. So I had no problem finding things to do by myself. Well, honey, we stopped in front of her bedroom door. I'm gonna get some rest. It's been a terribly long night, and I'm exhausted, but all in the best way. Sleep good. Love you. She kissed my forehead and headed into her room. I felt a chill run down my spine from the cool air that escaped her room. She always preferred to be cold over hot. I walked into my bedroom and stripped free of my wet towel and my bikini. I looked at the bathroom mirror and admired my beauty. I am not conceited in any way. I just know that I'm attractive, and I am really not afraid to admire that shamelessly. My body was sculpted in the right ways, which I was grateful for. I know I got my mom's genes. I walked to my bed, which had been made by room service while I was out, and I looked at the time, remembering the invite Lilac gave me earlier that day. It was still early, and I was nowhere near tired, and Mom was in bed. I took a quick shower, blow-dried my long hair, and left it in loose after applying some makeup and putting on an outfit that could possibly turn heads. Short black shorts and a white tank top that revealed my stomach. My outfit choices were always pretty simple, plus it was a bit hot in the ship, and dancing in a club would only make it worse. Double-checking myself in the mirror, I sighed the anxiousness of what tonight could hold. Alrighty, this is going to be part 1. You guys please let me know if you like it, if you're interested in more. Put a ship emoji in the comments if you want part 2. And that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you have enjoyed yourself as much as I have. I have read this before, but never to this extent. I never really focused on it a whole lot. And let me tell you, it is a freaking masterpiece so far. The run-on sentences, terrible grammar, wrong use of words. And it's very interesting. And I can 100% tell that Amberlynn is trying to be Memphis, I believe. The shameless, perfect body that she has, being left-handed, all that kind of stuff. I can definitely tell that she was trying to insert herself into the character, which makes it so much more fun. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!
If I wanted more money, I'd be making mukbangs, honey.
You are a disrespectful piece